Welcome again. Hi. We're talking about...
Pixel and frame.
Yes, thank you.
Low rider, Donnie. Donnie, low rider.
All my friends know the low rider. The low rider is a little higher.
Okay, welcome. This is Pixels and Frames.
Yeah, hello again. We pixels and frames, the basic words that we are using a lot in both industry. We will talk about fusion between film industry and game industry, how both industries could help each other.
Okay, so this is Patryk Kin, cinematographer.
Yeah.
And my name is Kamil Pohl and I am cinematic director. We both involved in the game dev industry for a couple of years, but our roots are from the film industry. And, we've done a couple of stuff. We don't want to talk about it. We'll show only a couple of logo types here. And we'll tell you what?
Yeah. As Kamil mentioned, we work a lot. We have over 15 years of experience in film industry, commercials, also theater, more
Yes.
on Kamil's side than mine. And we work with a lot of clients, also from game industry, before we make a transition to game industry.
And what we want to talk about is something that is the fundamentals of both these industries. In our today, on your industry, we have pixels in digital art, the most like the teeny tiny elements of everything. In film industry, we have frames. It's frames like continuity, create the animation, create the sensitivity of movement. And both of those, films and games, rely on the same concepts. It's very crucial to understand that moment, that this is not simply like two different genres, film and gaming. This is combined genre, and we will explain you how much is the same. The film industry starts like over 100 years ago, based on a very primitive concept and very primitive tools. But today we have only 100 years of evolution. And game dev industry, well, this is similarity. We have like 1960s, the same basic primitive concepts. Now we are here where we are here. And this is very similar. Of course, game dev has like shortened wave of length. So film industry is like 100 years ago of evolution, and game dev industry, because of the technology speed up and, I don't know, microchips and microcomputers and brilliant, genius people have shorter lifetime. And this is the example. Like, we don't have a sound. Okay. This is, okay. So this is something that is beginning the era of modern movie storytelling, the sci-fi. Landing on the Moon by Brother Lumiere. And you say, okay, this is very primitive, but imagine that in the 1980s we have the same primitive methods in the game industry, which we have here. And, everybody knows that this is cinematic, okay? This is something that have storytelling inside to introduce the player. So if you imagine that this is the same primitive concept based, so in film industry 100 years ago, you have black and white film, Brother Lumiere, and today we have something much more complicated. A little teeny tiny much more. When you saw that like the effects are different, maybe the camera is changing, maybe adding color is something new, everything is new. And in the game dev industry, do we have the same? Do we have the same evolution? Yes. Yes, we have the same evolution, so this is the similar path. They are working together. And the path of the game dev industry and the path of the film industry constantly dissolve and combine together. How? Let me introduce you how.
Yeah, basic concept we met in both industries that more and more nowadays they are trying to take something from each other, and we want to show you how it could happen, how those both industry could combine together to create something cool, something more amazing, something more immersive. Basically, there's a couple of things in film industry that game industry is taking over, like storytelling, more cinematic camera work, lighting, pacing and editing, VFX, CGI animation, and marketing. That is very important. And films, look on the game industry and, okay, we have very linear storytelling. Let's take non-linear storytelling, like more immersive, because you can basically feel like the actor, like the player, you know. And real-time rendering. Right now, real-time rendering is a big thing in the film industry because it helps with the cost of shooting films, because you don't have to fly over to Jordan to film something in the desert. Basically, you will go to soundstage and do the virtual production, created and with environment created in Unreal Engine. Player choices impact story. It's not from now. Like I think a couple years ago, it wasn't even like any filmmaker wasn't thinking about like, okay, let's make the actor change the decision, the viewer will change the decision what the actor will do. Now it's happening more and more. Unique art style. In game industry, basically everything you are creating is from scratch. You know, you are creating environments, characters, everything. In film, it's similar, but I think from my experience more costly, let's say. It's more about the schedules, because the schedules are like shorter compared to game development. Also long time immersion. Film industry is trying to make more and more immersive experience, even with creating TV series that people start to binge watching, right? Because if it's like you are watching TV series for 10 hours, you're immersed in the story, right? We are not selling any, like, you know, there's a cliffhangers, everything. And game industry had it from the beginning, because you played game not for 45 minutes, but you can play as much as you want. You can replay it even, because you can, you know, unlock more achievements. Indie productions, it's new thing that's becoming bigger and bigger every year, and it's cool because you don't have to spend like AAA budgets on the game that basically take player and you want to play again and again. Like mobiles, it's also like kind of great example of that. This is the future. We think it's the future.
Definitely it's the future. Those two worlds are colliding together. This is what we call the evolution of storytelling. The film has a linear storytelling focused on a plot, like you know what to do, what's going to happen next. You don't have any choice to, I don't know, change the storyline that was written like 2 years ago before production. Games have interactive storytelling. Sometimes you can choose like the ending of the game, which is something that us filmmakers says, going nuts, oh my God, we won't do that inside of our films. And this technology also mixed together, like the motion capture system. Everyone, okay, is there anyone who doesn't know how the motion capture system works? No. Everybody knows that? Yes? Okay. So you know that we need two actors, we have these cameras, blah, 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 blah. Why? Because we need to put this essence, this talents of the actors inside of our game, animation and stuff. It became from the industrial light and magic, but it spread along also for the game industry. CGI and VFX, these film techniques, enhance the world, these game worlds. Why? How? Imagine that without any Jurassic Park, you will never have this skin and rigging system like you have today in Maya, Motion Builder, Unreal Engine, whatever. That was the roots, not the game industry. The game industry was also involved, but not as much as the film industry pushed that boundaries. And game engines in filmmaking, virtual production, and pre-visualization.
Yeah, basically I can tell it from my experience as a cinematographer that, as I mentioned previously, virtual production is becoming a big thing. Of course, thanks to marketing of Mandalorian, everything is simple. It's not so simple because ILM created this technology, but they have big budgets. Now smaller companies try to have the same quality, and they had if they are clever. For example, this is how you can achieve great example of car driving. But as you see on the image on the right side, it's not so simple. It's a lot of things, a lot of programming, a lot of equipment, ton of equipment, lighting, everything. But environment behind it basically is recorded before or created on Unreal Engine. And this thing could, for me, for a filmmaker, for a cinematographer, I can release my imagination, how I want to create this shot, how the camera movement could be. So I think this is like big thing for creativity in the film industry. This is another example of, I don't know if everyone watched Black Mirror, probably yes, I assume. This is the example of Black Mirror that was on Netflix and was more immersive experience because viewer could change the story. You could do different thing with the main character, and this is like a good example of first big example how Netflix is thinking of, or like choosing to go to more immersive experience. They also, created like this platform for games, right? They are buying more companies from the gaming industry because they know that game industry is the future because it's more immersive.
And this is the three titles that we, the filmmakers, said, okay, this is something good. This is good shit, okay? This is The Last of Us, the first time we see the real cinematography inside of gameplay, like really astonishing. The God of War doesn't have to introduce, and the Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the three pillars that every game designer who loves cinema says, okay, this is it, and every filmmaker that play actual games says, this is it. No question about that. Maybe you can have like tons of another examples, but this is the AAA that we said, okay, this is good stuff. And what for what we need some kind of this cinematics, this rise of the cinematics game. Okay, we can play like the character third-person perspective, but we can't. It's very difficult to show every emotions. That's why we put the cutscenes inside. And the cutscenes sometimes are solid blocks, fade in, fade out, okay, we have a cutscene, skip cutscene, or sometimes they are very smooth transition, like in The Last of Us, when you need to show the depth like these emotions. Then we have a focus on complex, emotionally resonant characters. Why? Because we have to put Joel here, Ellie here, and they need to, like, I don't know, crash about something, or cry about something, or something like that. If you have a character like this, oh my God, it's so empty. Oh my God, it's very cheap. And if you have a character from that side, with close-up here of the camera, now we have the sense of this narrative depth. And why? This is we call this cinematic language. You can use that every time. Not only in cinematics, cutscenes, trailers, and YouTube films. No, you can use gameplay, actually. Every time you can use that, the cinematic language is the emotion. The emotion you can put anytime.
Yeah, I will add only one thing for the big thing right now in big games, AAA, is like transition between gameplay and cinematic, that we don't want to see cuts. Basically, cut is after, right? When we transition, we are walking and we are transitioning to the cinematic experience. In the film industry, we called it master shot or long shot. It was for a long way that invented. And in film, in 60s, in the 50s, in 60s was technology created by Steadicam. And this makes us watching film more immersed because camera is walking behind the character, making big connection between the camera and character, you don't have to cut, because cut is, that we don't meet, and we are not meeting cuts in our real life, right? We are not walking to the store and there is cut, oh, I see myself from the front, right? There is nothing like that. So that's the big thing in the industry.
Hello? Hi? Okay, so this is something that is cheap. To have a cut, this is very cheap. As you mentioned, Steadicam is something expensive. Also, transition in the gameplay, from the gameplay to the cinematics, between the character is running, then jumping through the window, we have camera flow inside, then he established the scene, and then we have a cut. This is the most cost and expensive part to make this transition. So let's use that wisely.
Yeah, the producer is always doing. Yeah, cool idea.
Okay, this is a great example. Just watch it for a second, okay? We have three things here. The actor, one camera movement, and the acting, and lighting, of course. So those three things create a scene. But we can play a scene like he's sitting here and said, "Oh my God, I miss my wife, and I'm hungry, and I don't know what to do, so I will watch my knife, and I will go hunt something." Or we can play like this. Why was that play like this? Because there was actually the film or cinematic director on the set, and the actor have idea for that, and it was on the purpose. Those teeny tiny emotions that you have here, that he's barely touching this for the first time, and he's putting a head here, and he's a breakdown. Okay, calm down. Let's build up this tension. This is something. This is actual something that builds up your character here. Of course, we can build Kratos here like, "I'm Kratos, and I'm going to kill everybody in here." But this is something else. This is something more.
Yeah, this is long takes, basically. Very small camera movement that's making us thinking, oh, I'm more connected emotionally to the character. And also music make it more complex and making this whole thing put together as a great piece of example. Regarding music, I don't know if everyone played spoiler alerts. Alan Wake. For me, Alan Wake is masterpiece. Let's hear for a second the music, everything together. You can see how immersive this sequence is. It's full of things. It's actor, it's gameplay, it's music, it's musical basically, and how creative the creators was, creating this, that you have music video that leads player where player should be. And then it's like, the battle, everything, but there's like sound, camera work, lighting, everything that we talk already. It's here in the scene. Basically, it's like all over. It's creative. So you can see how multidisciplinary it could be. The games. And how it takes from film industry, but also how many things it could give to film industry.
And one more thing about this musical, because I was involved in a couple of musicals as a director of animations and a scenography director. So this is a great example how someone is watching many musicals and decide, hey, we can put a level in a musical. We can sell this emotion through the music, actually. And we have the same example as the Wolfenstein New Order or something like that, where we came back to our hub and it's burning. And we have a gameplay which is fighting gameplay, like in Wolfenstein, but synchronized, almost synchronized with the Mick Gordon's music. It was creepy awesome. It was really, really, really awesome because you are fighting. It was dramatic. We are fighting for your friends. So, like teeny tiny elements, even music changing or adding some kind of elements like multiple elements here, as in Alan Wake we have, change the immersion in the gameplay. And it's not possible when you don't have any actors. The actors are crucial. Of course, you can hire like AAA actors, but look at that. Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk, Kit Harington got Call of Duty. We have Rami Malek, blah, blah, blah. Look how similar these characters are, because they are face scanned, of course. They are paid like multi-million dollars for their face, and they said, okay, you are now playing, I don't know, the crazy Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk. Why? Not only because for the marketing style, but also when you have the actor, his voice, his soul, and actually his face. This is completely. This is something that completes this character. Because in movies, you have actually character. You have actually this actor playing. So you see that, I don't know, Rami Malek plays Freddie Mercury in a Bohemian Rhapsody movie. He was good? He was good. He won Oscar? He won Oscar. Why? Because he's a Rami Malek. So if you have Rami Malek, so do Rami Malek face. Why not to use both? So the talents are key to achieve good-looking storytelling inside, because this is something that you drives. This is something that you fire and forget. If you have a good talent, then you have no worry to about.
Yeah, actors are also a great example that for them, this gap, that the dividing film and games, not anymore, because for them, games are interesting. The story is interesting, so they agree to give their faces to the games, right? To be a main in the game. So this is the great example how those two worlds collide with each other and make together like more complex and more fun stuff. So we means that the actors lending performance to game characters that I mentioned before. We have filmmakers consulting on a game project. We have, like me, film and cinematic director involved not only in the cinematics, but also in the gameplay. Sometimes someone in Flying Wild Hog calls me, hey, what do you think about the beginning, or I don't know, some kind of mission or something like that? We're actually working on a next title, and we just working hours of work with narrative team to deploy, like to establish this gameplay to be more dramatically accurate or something like that. But also, filmmakers, as Patryk, as a DOP and expert in lighting, in camera framing, and in all of this artistic style, involve the art department, or art direction even, or creating film lighting on a level. Because you can use like the guy who is trained on tutorials how to light everything in Unreal Engine or any other software. But why not to use someone from, I don't know, art school or art design or film school to show you how it's actually done on the movies you like? Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes people that work in the gaming industry for 20 years, 10 years even, they hit the wall because they know the whole process, how something is working, and they heard a lot of things like, no, don't do that, it's over the budget, blah, 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 it's something like that. So their film people are going from the physical world that I basically studied in a film school, and I had to put the lights by my hands, and to light actor or to hold the camera and everything. And they are like, oh, I haven't thought about, putting camera here. And for me, for example, putting camera under the ground is like something new, because basically if I want to put something very low camera angle, I had to dig the hole, so it's more physical thing. But yeah, I know a lot of lighting technicians that they transit to the game industry, because for them, spending like 16 hours on a film set was not fun anymore, was more tired. And for them, crunch, that I don't like as well. For them, crunch, what crunch? It's like it's easy peasy. Spending in the rain, in the snow, in the minus temperature on the set, it was more tired, and they also they miss their families because working working in the game for them is more that they can stay close to their home, spend their time with the families, everything. Not many people are thinking about that, but it's very crucial where you're getting older.
So yeah, it's not gameplay versus storytelling, it's gameplay storytelling. So we can combine that. And could you please, and to be honest, this is the similarities in here. We have film and game industry. We have idea, script, storyboards. We have the same. Of course, we have talents. Here we have a mock-up talents. It's much more different. Talents are the guys who said, when I play detective, I need a code. I need to feel that code. Without code, I'm no detective. Mock-up talents is someone who says, okay, I have a code, I need to imagine that, and I have to play like I'm wearing a coat because I can't wear a coat on a motion capture session. And we have director on a film, one, and we have directors in the game industry, which are many of them, narrative director, game director, blah, 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 director, blah, blah, blah. We have cinematographer, art director / we have art director and a look dev. The same, tiny different. Film production, game production, almost the same. Post-production in film, very crucial part. Here we have a QA. We call it post-production because this is the playtest. This is something that say, hey, this sucks. We have, okay, post-production. QA said, okay. Red carpet and champagne in film, we love that. And game release and champagne also, we love that. And money. Yes, we need a lot of money. Both of those worlds need money. But also, we have differences in here. So in film, we have linear script and multi-action script. This is something that drives me nuts sometimes because we have choose many elements and build up the tree with the storytelling. This is some kind of complicated. We have linear production in the film. Script, storyboard, blah, 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 shooting day, post-production, premiere, wake up, next project. Now in game we have non-linear production. We have mixing of that. We change the level. Oh my God, we need to change cinematics. Oh, so we need to change scripts. Oh, we need to change characters, blah, 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 blah. We have simple chain of command, director, DOP, main producer, and everybody else. This is more complex chain of command. Sometimes it's not because there is chaos. No, sometimes because level designer has a brilliant idea about something, and we said, okay, now listen to this guy. This is something that we call open work. And in game, years of tradition. From 1975 or something like that, we have Steadicam. And this Steadicam is changing, of course. It's made from carbon, but it's still the Steadicam. Here, every year is something new. Like, multi-light system in Unreal 5.5, mind-blowing. And now our plans are changing for the next cinematics. And more practical SFX? No, VFX. Actually, it's a mistake. VFX. So
in film is SFX.
Huh?
SFX is physical in film. SFX.
So imagine Mad Max Fury Road. We don't have any green screens. We have practical on sets. Here we have all CGI, which is complex, but it's opening us. We can do anything, like, Space Marine 2, we can design anything. And it's the same cost as building a house in 3D, my room, or something like that. And story and emotions are most important. Here is a great game can exist without complex story. Like Farming Simulator, love that. And of course, we have one vision holder. This is the main director. This is like Christopher Nolan or Stanley Kubrick. He is the god here. In game, we have vision holders, stakeholders, and this is many gods, like Olympus. And sometimes they're fighting each other, and this is complicated. So yeah, game is complicated.
I want to show you two examples of how, from game creators, they turn game to the series, and how those scenes change. So we can watch those two things.
We've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Oh no. Sarah. Move your hand, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me, I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do it, baby. Don't do this to me. Don't. No. 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 Please. 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 Sick!
I got 2 civilians by the river, one of them injured. Ankle.
What about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you somewhere safe first. Then we'll go back for him, okay? Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat. Hey, no one told you to move. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're not sick. Sir, we are not sick!
I'm sorry.
Please don't. No. No, no, no. Okay. You're okay. You're okay. Move your hand, baby. Move your hand. No. I know, baby. I know. I know it hurts. All right. Down. Come on, baby. You're okay. I know, baby. I know. I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay. All right. Baby, listen to me. I gotta get you up, okay? I gotta get you up. All right? You come on. I know, baby. No, I know. Tommy, help me! Joe. Come on, baby girl. I gotta get you up. Come on, get up. Come on, baby girl. Come on.
I hope everyone watched it before because I see that you can't see so much, but you saw the watch. That is very crucial. Both those scenes are almost the same, so it means that in game it was so emotional that the creators of TV series, they didn't want to change it. They had like previous what they want to do. Because in game, the facial animation, the acting, mood, only like the colors could change. But you know, it was so deep, so immersive. How you feel? You feel bad. Every person that has child, they felt bad in the scene, right? So you can see how those two worlds still they take from each other because game development is becoming more and more cinematic. People are driving more and more towards the storytelling, to see emotions, to see, to make people even feel bad sometimes, you know. This is also very important. Yeah, for me this is a great example how Naughty Dog is the masters of storytelling.
This is something about these two scenes. If you watch it later, like side-to-side comparison, you will see that even camera framing sometimes is correct. You see in the same moment, we miss the camera and we focus over the Tommy, just to going back, even in a cut or in the same movement of the camera, to see that the girl is already dead. So it's almost the same. Somehow in 2013, during or 2012, during recording of the mock-up setup of this motion capture session, something goes actually right. So right that was something that was put it in the Netflix series, HBO series 10 years ago, 10 years later. One more thing about the mock-up session, you can find it on YouTube, and I strongly advise to see that, how deep was this performance. But after recording this scene, both on this character's stand-up T-pose, still crying. The girl was crying, and the Joel actually was barely hands these emotions. This is something that I love to achieve on a motion capture with actors, that they are so deeply involved that they are actually crying on mocap. It's not necessary, but it's necessary to feel these emotions. And this is another example. Like, switch the totally perspective, and we have seen the sphere of Vegas. This is U2 concert in this world, this sphere thing in Vegas. So, because I was involved in a couple of concerts and visualizations in my previous company also, that was the most problematic stills when you have the classic rendering stuff, when you have, I don't know, something for V-Ray, redshift, like millions frames long shot, one master shot. This is actually on the Unreal Engine. This is a background, looped, animated and stuff in Unreal Engine during the U2 concert, Bono and stuff, on the sphere of Vegas. Of course, it has tons of complications like the scale and stuff, but that was generated because of the game dev industry starts something that we can call real-time revolution. 10 years ago, impossible to achieve that. Right now, it's just another day.
This is the great example of future of how every show business disciplines could take from the game industry, right? Because creating this kind of image was impossible before, as Kamil mentioned, and right now we can basically create everything. Even like if you see how stages on concerts, on shows, on theater is changing, that we are taking from back projection, front projection, LED stuff, and put Unreal to it. It's crazy, basically crazy. Also, Unity was bought by Weta, creator of Lord of the Rings, right? So it should tell you guys how those two worlds are together, working together.
One thing about in 2017 I created a musical called The Pilots in Warsaw, and the old production for that, for animated backgrounds on the LED screens who had to robotically move on the stage, took 1.5 years. The last musical, We Will Rock You, with the Queen music in the same theater, in the same setup, took 3 months because they use Unreal Engine. From 1.5 years, and the graphics was actually better. So they create something in 3 months. From first draft to the final grand premiere. That's the difference. So, conclusions.
Yeah, conclusions. As we talked before, future I think will go more to AR, VR. Not only, of course, but this will be this. There was a big boom on the metaverse. It's not anymore so much, but I think it will be going that way, because even Kamil tried yesterday. First time VR from 6 years ago was your first time.
Six years ago, I played some kind of co-op game in Paris on another convent, and it was like, okay, pretty cool. Yesterday, wow, I was amazed. Like the smooth and quality of that was like, okay, yeah. I wanna in my home.
He had the banana on his face for a couple of hours of running and killing kids because he was playing.
No.
Sorry. It was almost adults.
They were very dangerous because they were small and they were very quick.
In virtual world, yes, it was very dangerous people. And what else? I think successful game-to-film adaptations. As an example, from Last of Us, more and more TV series are coming. I know that they are developing God of War. Amazon Prime is developing God of War. They are also working on Alan Wake. They're also working on Control. So you see the series that we like because they're very cinematic. It's quite simple for filmmakers to take those stories because they are great, because they are great developed characters, and take it to the different universe, to the film universe, and show put on the VOD and resell, let's say. Or the great example is Borderlands, because movie was not so good, but releasing of the movie make a skyrocket jump of people buying Borderlands 3 and on Steam. So this is quite like very interesting way for marketing people, how they could resell their product again and again, how IPs are in the game industry are strong. And in film industry, in my opinion, there's a little bit lack of new IPs, new genres, because we are right now recreating, another Marvel, another remake of the remake of the remake, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's very challenging because they are taking story from I don't know 40s or something like that. The technology was different, and they're creating something cool. But sometimes it's not so good, but still, So that's why big producers are watching. Oh, game industry. It's bigger. It's bigger than the film industry right now. It's more money. Let's do something like that. So they will, they will watch how game development is working and how the Unreal is working, and like, okay, let's use it in the film.
Just do this. So, games and movies become the one body, because we use the same ideas. Basically, we use the same books, we watch the same movies, we are going and watch the same paintings, we are doing the same photography or love the same photography, we love the same things. We use the same artists, because when I work with storyboard artists over my cinematics, I work with the storyboard artists from the film industry also. And so this is the same artist. We have the same artists like in scenography, in Unreal Engine, in any 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, they are the same artists. We have this emotional and immersive experience that we are trying to put in our film industry, and we are trying to put the emotions from the films, from the film characters, inside of our games, meta-human, for example. And we use the same technology today. We are far, far, far from the point where we have Jar Jar Binks, right? We are far, far, far from first Jurassic Park. It's still good, but it's not good enough. But we are here, and when filmmakers said, I need something in CGI, then supervisor of the visual effects says, maybe we can use it Unreal. This is the common answer. We use the same technology. So we are not divided into two different worlds. Right now, maybe we're on the path, on the same way that we are forcing us together to create something that is gonna be film game film, you name it. But in the future, in the nearest future, you will sit down on your couch after a long day of work, and you will see, you ask your AI support or AI or something, I want to play a game when I kill my boss, but in the end, everybody is happy, and teeny tiny kitten is hug me. And after 5 minutes of making coffee, he said, it's ready, sir. And you play that game you love the most in every way, your single game. No one else will expect that. Maybe it's the future, maybe not. We'll see in a couple of years, I think.
Yeah, and I can add from the filmmaker side that if filmmakers are dinosaurs and they don't want to, gain more experience, like how Unreal Engine is working, how new technologies are becoming more and more into film industry, they will just vanish from the film industry. I don't think the future is like that you can be only doing one thing. I think you should be watching what's new, maybe like learning a little bit of everything, and then you can be more creative, because if you can use only pencil you'll not paint the big nice painting, because this is pencil. You can draw only. So it's the thing is.
Yeah. So
That's it. Thank you guys.
If you have any questions, now is the time. The questions.
Yes.
I love questions.
Wonderful.
I actually have 2 questions. Haha, I tricked you.
Damn.
Can I ask 2 then?
Yes.
Okay. First thing would be differences and similarities in the fields. And I want to ask about sound effects and music, because that's my point of interest. In filmmaking, you usually record stuff with a mic. There's like a mic here.
Yeah.
And you record it, you have actually few mics. In games, you don't have the reality to record from. You do what? Field recordings, something else, you synthesize some other things. It seems very different to me. How is it?
Because I think he's more a guy with working with sound, but from my experience right now, in games there is 3-dimensional sound, that you are walking, so you hear something is going on your back. In film, it's getting the same, because Dolby Atmos, the new technology that is enrolled more and more into the industry, is making the same, that you basically feel the chopper in the cinema or in your home, because it's, those technologies coming to your home right now, that the chopper is flying over your head and it's very close or very far. So this is the thing, that is like the game industry and film industry is making like very close to each other. It's not only guy recording sound on that basically there is a story between cinematographers and the sound guys that we don't like each other, because they always putting in the frame their mic. So that's he's the guy more on the sound department.
When I work with the sound department in Flying Wild Hog, but with any other studios, they do have the microphones. They do record actually the Foley's and all of these sound designs and all of the sound. And I'm the first guy who said more. Bring me more. When something is stomping, I don't want to hear a stomp. I don't want to see. I want to hear something more. And you mentioned about how to build that. Well, in engine you can put many triggers like distances and stuff. In cinematics, inside of the real-time gameplay is the same. I love to play with something that is never achieved in a real time in film, with the distance. When you can have the actor here, but some kind of orc or robo-mechanism or robo-dog comes from that window, and you still something that has a distance and echo and stuff. This is something that our audio engineering inside do for us, but still for me, it's not so very important the distance or the size of the chamber or I don't know how many effects do we have, but the final complete sound story. If I have the storytelling closed and the sound design is closing that storytelling also, then I'm very happy. And the next question was?
The next question was, I usually hear, well, from game critics and stuff, people sometimes don't really like, I have seen the sentiment that people don't really like when agency or control is taken away from the player with a cutscene.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of people criticize that. Yeah. How do you make it so, well, in that Alan Wake example, you showed it, I think it was, there was no agency taken away, it was the player actually moving. Any tips on doing that? How do game developers and cinematographers do all that to avoid taking away control?
Well, this is the most crucial part because you have tons of players. Everybody have his own settings and all of his mind. One is someone who says, "I love film settings like from The Last of Us or Uncharted," right? Gameplay, cutscene, gameplay, cutscene. Or another player says, "I don't like any cutscene at all. Why you should play some movies? I don't like movies. I want to run or do something or find some kind of items and read that." You never be happy with your product, and you never said, "Okay, this is the product for everybody." So you need to choose the path. Or you're doing something with the cinematics and try to minimize that effect, or you try to do without any cinematics, or try to input something, information that it's enhance this dramaturgy, enhance this acting, these emotions inside of your gameplay. But those are two different genres, and it's impossible for now to make everyone happy.
Yeah, basically, his strong point is the vision of a game, right? If you have if the cinematics in a game is just for simple, putting story a little bit, giving information, and you are not focusing more about how we can make it more immersive, as Alan Wake did, right? Because for me, it's more cinematic than the gameplay because it's telling story and it's musical basically. So you are immersed, but you are watching it. So I think it's a crucial thing is having strong idea, strong vision on your game. Because if you have an idea and you know how to, or you even hire people and you listen to the people that having ideas how cinematics could be immersive somehow, the new way of showing cinematics, not only, cut as we mentioned, right? And not even like transition, transition, walk a couple of steps and then cut, right? This is the thing, because I think it's like the old way of cinematics is going away more and more. That like vision is the most important thing for this.
More questions, please. Yes.
Hi. First of all, cool presentation. Really enjoyed it. You were talking quite a lot about Last of Us, right? Which is, I believe it's safe to say, that is like narrative, story-driven game, which, well, gameplay takes second priority, if you will. In regards to Wild Hog games itself, I believe the studio is best known for Shadow Warrior. 1, 2, 3, of course, you have like Trek to Yote or something like that. Sorry if I butchered the name. But Shadow Warrior is like gameplay first and storytelling second game. So just curious, like in the future, are you gonna focus more on storytelling and like, cutscenes, or just curious about the studio and next project, if you will. Thank you.
Okay, so basically that was the past. I'm not saying that the Hawks are actually right now is driving into, okay, we'll do The Last of Us 3, for example, or something like that. No. We are still fast-pacing games, it's obvious, but they hire us after Shadow Warrior 3. And I leave you with that answer. They hired us after this Shadow Warrior. I was in the end of the Evil West, and I was responsible for creating cinematics for Evil West on the actually ready materials. But that was some kind of jump, and now we are doing our job.
One word, evolution.
I think it's a...
Not revolution, evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
I think we have a last questions. I saw a hand. Yes, your lady. Thank you.
Thank you once again for the presentation. It was really, grateful, insightful. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask then this kind of question. It was already answered that it's quite difficult to make cutscenes wanted by everyone. Then another question, why do game developers spend so much budget on creating cutscenes, the cinematic kind of videos, and making them skippable at the same time?
This is the same question when I ask for, like in a joke on one of our meetings, can we avoid this press Y to skip cutscene, for example, why? Okay, no, because we need to sell the story without cutscenes also, and the cutscenes are for the audience who like to watch movies, so want to dive inside of this immersive world. Without cutscenes is a product, still needs to be understandable, still needs to be clear, still needs to be fun. So you have to choose. You have to choose which player are you actually. Sometimes even I skip cutscenes. Yes, I'm bad. But mostly of the time I'm trying to cross my fingers and said, yeah, I will do that and play all the cutscenes from beginning to the top. I think the skip cutscenes button will exist in any title in the end of the world.
Basically, it's pleasing both sides, right? If you don't want to watch it, like in Mario games, right? Because in Mario gameplay is everything. We played Mario Wonder yesterday, and it was very tempting to skip the cutscenes, believe me, because we want to change to elephant and we want to run and kill Koopas or something like that.
One more thing to add. Sometimes game developers or game creation put too many cutscenes inside. This is my appeal for everybody who's thinking about the game or trying to work on the narrative. If you want to put the cutscenes inside, just think not too much, not too many, okay? The cutscenes and the gameplay need to be equal, and it depends from the game you're creating. If you put in cutscenes, it needs to be for the reason. The reason are emotions mostly, but please not too much, because you're pushing these skip cutscenes even more for us.
Just to finishing, it's like basically sometimes it's always about the vision, because sometimes people are not thinking about, okay, this cutscenes will be very, very expensive, very expensive, right? But they are narrative thinking, okay, we don't have an idea for how to push the story forward, so let's put the cutscene. And this is not the good idea to doing that, because the pacing is getting low, nobody want to, and then there is a very tempting to push the skip cutscene, because cutscene, basically, I'm the filmmaker. And when we are working on the project, I'm more and more thinking about, let's put the gameplay here. Let's put the gameplay here. We don't need the cutscene here. It's boring. Let's put the gameplay. And for me, it's so much fun, to become the game designer somehow, because I'm thinking how the design of the gameplay would be nicer than the having cutscene. So this is the crucial part, storytelling. Doesn't have to be cutscene. Cutscene is not the storytelling. Gameplay is storytelling.
Okay, so we are out of time. Thank you very much, guys.